In this episode, we'll be looking at Python's debugging capabilities. Python comes with its own debugger module that is named PDB for Python Debugger. This module provides an interactive source code debugger for your Python programs. You can set breakpoints, step through your code, inspect stack frames, and more. We're going to look at the following aspects of the module: how to start your debugger, stepping through your code, and setting breakpoints. First, we need to get some code, so let's write some. We'll just write something really super simple. We'll call it debug test.py. Let's go ahead and save that before we get too far along. Okay, so that's what it's called. And we'll create some functions. Result, oops, will equal a times 2. And then we're going to print our result. And then we're going to return the result. Alright, now we'll create a main function. And I'll go through a range of numbers. 1 through 10 basically, and I'll call doubler with each number. And now we just need to call main, so we use our if name equals main construct. I'll call main like that, save. So now we have a little script and it should work just fine. We'll just test that real quick, make sure we have all the code correct. Alright, that seems to work the way we want it to. And now we can start debugging. Alright, well, to start the debugger, we can use import PDB. So since we just ran it over here, it should already be part of our namespace. So we can check that with locals. It says doubler's already here. So now we should be able to do pretty much anything that we want to do. Should be able to call main from here, really. So let's import PDB and try running that. So PDB main, open, close, whoops. Let's see what this does. So this will put us into the prompt for PDB. It's got kind of its own little runtime environment. Kind of like a terminal command line window. So if we do this, we should be able to type something like continue to find out what happens next in our code. So if we do continue, it goes ahead and runs through the entire piece of code. So basically it steps into the code, pauses, and then you can hit continue to continue. Not really useful, but that's how you can start the debugger. Another way to start it is to open up a command line terminal. So let's do that. And we'll just cd into the appropriate location. So that's in my documents folder, code. And then we just need to call python -m PDB and then our code file name. If you run it like that, you'll also get into the little PDB debugger. And you can also use C for continue. It's kind of a shortcut. So let's do that, and it should do the same thing. As you can see, it finished, and the PDB will actually restart the program from the beginning for you. So you can keep running the code and doing different things with it. Next up, we'll look at how to actually step through our code. So to step through the code, you can just type the word step. So if you type step, or S actually is a shortcut, it'll step into the code. In this case, it stepped into the main function, as you can see here. So we started in def doubler, now we're in def main. So if we do another step, we're in if name equals main. Basically, you just keep stepping. We'll go into main, go into the for loop, which we'll call doubler, Now we're in doubler. We get our result. We hit print our result, and we return our result. And you can see that it's gone ahead and printed S out there for you. Super duper handy. You also want to pay attention to the line numbers, which are right here, 5 and 6 and 4 and 3. It just kind of tells you where you're at in the code. That's super helpful if you're trying to figure out where the heck your code has failed on you, or where the bug is located if it crashes at a particular point. These numbers will tell you where you're at in your code, so you know. If you want, you can type args. So let's try that. It'll tell you what your arguments are at that point in the code. In this case, a equals 1. A being the variable that you pass into doubler. So if we keep stepping, we should be able to find out what the next number is. Now we're in doubler again. Try args. Now a equals 2 because we're in a second part of the loop. So that can just help you determine where you're at in your code and how far along you are in it. Now let's go ahead and look at how to set up a breakpoint. Alright, so we're already in the code, but now we want to set a breakpoint. So you just type the word break and the line number that you want to break on. So we'll break on line 6, for example. Hit enter. It tells us that there's a breakpoint now. One breakpoint, and it's at line 6. So now if we do continue, the code will continue until it hits that breakpoint. And if you look up here, we're on line 3. So if you hit continue, it'll just go until it hits line 6. So it continues, prints 4, and now we're at line 6 in doubler, which is the return result part. Do args again. A is still equal to 2. So let's try continue again. It goes around the whole circle, and now if we do args, you should see that A is changed, which it has, to 3. And as you can see, every time you hit continue, it's going to stop at line 6. So that's how you set a breakpoint and how you jump to that breakpoint. So I think at this point, you kind of get the idea of how to use the basics of the debugger. There are lots of other commands that you can use for the debugger, and those are in the documentation, so you need to check those out to learn how to use them. But for now, you can jump right in and start debugging your code. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.